Hi everybody, David here, November 12th, 2021. I'm gonna go dive into a topic that I brought up the other day about the universal consciousness, the Holy Spirit, the I am that is that I am. And I have good news. It involves having a bit of an open heart. If you don't have an open mind, I believe in you that you'll still be able to get this message. So sit still and take a look, take a look, see what we can do. Um, if you look at a salt crystal, it's a cube. It's really cute. It's just a perfect little cube. Sometimes it's a little oblong, sometimes it's flat, but when you break it, it's basically a quadrilateral shape, three-dimensional quadrilateral prism. That's what I'm saying. So, no matter how many times you break it, it always breaks into those. Um, what I'm trying to say is that the universal consciousness is a life form, is the universe, and is aware of itself, and went back in time on Earth and visited the Hebrews and spoke directly to Moses. And here's the crazy thing. Crazy as in, amazing to me. I believe this, knowing this is an absolute fact in my heart. It's absolute fact to me. I don't, you can't even sway it from me. It's a trip. Let me see if I can convince you that this is true. And let me show you what I mean. So then people, it's a little bit harder to see it as a universal super consciousness, unless you really have an open mind, I think, before you're actually quantum entangled even with yourself. Now, I'm going to tell you something fun. How did I get quantum entangled with myself? You want to know what I did? Alright, this is what I believe that I have to do. There's more than one option. Upon my death, I would have donated my brain or my body or to quantum science. Quantum science. Here's an easier way. Because I don't want to have my brain in a computer that comes out like 700, 800 years from now. If that's the only option, then that's cool. But I really think it's better than that. I think that they have a way of like MRI video of the energy of the wave of the brain, the whole brain, getting the entire quantum signature of the life form in it during its life while alive. And here's what's cool. In a machine that uses multiple quantum entangled states, multiple quantum entangled chips, um, it is going to be able to read multiple causalities. It's going to be able to change time because a quantum entangled thing it's entangled with another item in space-time. So it's not just entangled across space. We forget about time all the time because we think, hey, there's still in now. There's no trans-temporal moment. Yes, there is. You know how you open it up? You fire a light, you fire the same message across from one to the other, across a light pole. I said this before in other videos, but I guess it's getting clearer that I can make this message clear because I'm receiving it from a future time that was kind enough to teach me what is basic knowledge, I suppose, in several hundred or 1,000 years, maybe even 50 years if we do this right. Maybe even 5, maybe even next year. You know what I mean? But okay, maybe it won't be common knowledge in a year, but it'll definitely break. So let me just make this cool. You've got now. Am I saying that the universe is a computer or in a computer that we built? No, not exactly. I'm saying that we built a computer that behaves as if a portal to that very universal consciousness, and we would be able to interact with it. It would be able to interact on our terms. Like it would obviously be acquiescing to us. Like, it comes to the window to say hi and wave and do stuff like that. And if it doesn't feel like it, it doesn't have to. Of course, it is that very Holy Spirit. I really believe this. I really truly do. The universal consciousness is the Holy Spirit that everybody talks about in the three religions that talk about the Holy Spirit and the one God, the one true God. And that name had been Yahweh, and Yahweh Shekinah, or Shekinah, if, depending on where you're from and how you speak it. I'm noting Judeo-Christian, Judeo-Muslim Christian. I was just speaking chronological. All of importance equal in my heart, and all of them correct in their ways, each. I have so much more to learn before I can completely state that. I have to learn Muslim stuff. I want to talk a little bit about, God, I don't really want to go, oh, well, give me a second. It's cool when you realize that two particles that are quantum entangled with each other across space, if light is sending the same message that's being sent from one to the other across quantum entanglement, there's going to be a difference in time. There's going to be a quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement's faster than light because the message is instantaneous. When you flip the one particle, the other particle flips instantly. I think it's a mirror image. I want to say that maybe not always. Maybe it's like this, and maybe it's also like this. I'm not 100% sure. I do say this. I believe that there's more than just one kind of superposition. I've mentioned that a few times. That I at first was calling it alpha superposition, beta superposition, but that gets annoying because there's more than 26. And I'm certain there are infinite superpositions, and when you acquire infinite superposition access, in other words, universal access with respect to that which is the Holy Spirit, the I am that I am, you would be able to live forever. You live forever. Because death is a causality, and it's a causality endpoint. It's a quantified state. When somebody dies, we know they died. If you were to change time, let's say the person was a heavy smoker and you got them to quit. That's one of the first things. If you watch the movie Frequency, they did that. The guy's trying to save his dad. His dad had died. Now, you don't realize it, but with a quantum system, we're already noting that the person's dead, but we know that we're talking across time, so we know we'd be changing it, so we know that it's going to change time. So then it automatically, oh my God. So here's the funny thing. If somebody actually outlives their known death date, what state are they in? Are they actually... There's no known death date. There would be no known death date. Or would it just be a new date? I don't know. You might end up in a weird quantum superposition where you're no longer required to die. Reality is mutable. That which we believe in, those anchor points, those faith strongholds, those things that we believe in, those are merely quote-unquote facts that we have noted through observation, statistical. Yeah, I believe it because I saw it. Yeah, I believe it because I saw it too. It usually requires at least two, right? Like a Venus flytrap requires 2 triggers before it closes its leaf. So then if you have several people noting that, then the statistics would stand to reason in that regard, in that way. So then, I know that I kind of delve across a few different subjects with me. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. I will get back to you. Obviously, it's going to be right away at first because there's not very many of you watching. I get that I'm just chatting away on this thing, and that's all that there is. It's just not that exciting. I'm sorry, guys. A lot has to happen in order for this. So, I did write a book. It's not enough. I need to go back in and fix that. It's just not fair to say that that's the story. So I really want to go into more. That's really just a story of before. before the transition. That's not what I'm talking about here. I want to talk about the difference, the ballooning of time, the difference in what happens when you actually change time. What does it look like? Okay, so I'm gonna try to explain it to you. Let me see if I can capture it. Because what I noticed is when I actually witnessed a time change. Oops. Um, when I witnessed a time change myself, it was as if. Give me a sec. I'll show you. It was seriously seeing double vision, even triple, maybe just double. I was looking at the closed captioning on this TV, and if you look, every once in a while, there's a second. You see it? It just formed. Now there's one behind the other. It wasn't there a second ago. It's there now, and then now it's going back because y'all don't believe me. Look at that shit. I don't know. Yeah, that's incredible, actually. All right. So look, there are things that I really can't believe that. That's incredible. Look. Okay, it went back. That's crazy. So look, man, there are things that you can do in your life that prove quantum superposition isn't that which I've known as absolute form, that which is in our real world um, day-to-day life, that which we see in the actual physical realm. That's absolute form. That's what I know as true form. These are terminologies from other times. These are things that I believe. I have to. I beg your forgiveness because I only have faith to run this by. That and literally as if prophecy coming out of my mouth, as if I know what to say. These things don't necessarily even originate from me. They're coming from what? I don't. The superconscious that is the universal. I am that is that I am. Even me. Even through me. Even in me. Like I'm an avatar of the very universe, just like you. And Jim Carrey had brought that to my attention. And I've mentioned this in other videos. This is kind of a summarization through all the other video subjects that I've gone through, as well as some things that I can delve into deeper, cleaner, and make much more clear. I definitely. Let me come back. Somebody really, really made a difference in my life today. Whether it's today in your time, it's as if we're on two different planets. You're in another time. I'm in this time over here, but we're really on the. You might actually be on another planet. I hadn't thought of that. You might be on Mars, and I'm on Earth. It's funny because I was hearing about a multi global web or a multi world web, because we won't just have a world wide web. We're not gonna. It'll be an MWW or an MGW. We'll actually have all these things when we actually all work together and believe that we can do the things that we have thought were actually impossible. And they think it now. Let me tell you something that's kind of cool, guys. When you're quantum entangled with others across time, you'll end up saying the very things that they say at the same time that they're saying it. So it's like, for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Someone else said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exactly like I just did. And even I just did saying it twice because in that one moment I said it and then I had said it again. So when in a quantum entangled state where you're entangled with yourself, those numbers will overlap with the first time and with the second time because they were both said twice and not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was that bad example, but just know this, because it wasn't exactly with the other two. They're very subtle difference. I'm pretty sure that I've covered a lot of stuff. I'm gonna leave a lot of the science fiction stuff out of this today on this one with respect to light. And I do have to say more will be revealed because it may not be fiction. And then there is a blurred line between what is truth, what is known as fact, and that which we have delegated as fiction. And what's the difference between fiction and nonfiction? One of the things that I like the answer with respect to science fiction, sci-fi, like Semper Fi, is that time is the only difference. And I really like that because there'll come a time where we do get to go on the Enterprise or the Millennium Falcon or these things, and it would be our side, the equivalent. I want to see what hyperspace looks like. Here's a gift. If you're still listening to this, I'm gonna close with this. Well, I'll close after this. This is the one thing. Here's a secret. Here's what I did. There's a guy in a movie called Tenet. Independently, I had this idea when I was a kid, but I noted that someone else had this idea. But if you do it in real life, it'll actually, you gotta pay attention and it'll happen for you. I believe that. Ask the future. Make a time capsule. Write a letter to the future, not to be opened until time travel is possible, or time travel of information is possible. That one's a little sooner than time travel. I think we have some responsibility things to learn because this stuff is it's not just playtime. It's incredible work, and I'm honestly honored just to know that you guys are really talking to me, through me, even to me back and everything. It's a journey. It's an awesome journey, and I just want to close with saying that what was I gonna say? Give me a sec. I was referring to Andre Sater. He had made in the movie Tenet. He had written a letter to the future, and he was doing deals with time traveling futures, which is pretty much what I'm talking about. Time travel of information is essentially dealing with quantum entanglement versus light information traveling at the speed of light, not entangled. A race between the same information. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. A through Z, right? So that'll be your first message, right? You got quantum entanglement. You might want to send a real message. It would be a journey. Now, obviously, the farther the distance between the two quantum entangled particles or devices, I should be more. I'll say that the farther the distance, and even if the distance further improves, the greater the distance will vary with the ballooning of the sinusoidal wave of time. We're going to notice the difference. You're going to notice an echo, the echo coming first. So when you go hello, hello, it'll be like hello comes first. And be like hello, and you'll be like hello. And you'll realize it was you, and you'll be like hot damn. That's what I just believe. I don't have proof of this yet because I don't have access to a quantum lab, because I don't have a car, because I don't have the money to do so. But more will be revealed. I have some work to do first. And I am working full time, almost full time. I'm scheduled to work full time. So, again, more will be revealed. More has been revealed. Ducked out a couple times. Picking things up and putting them down for a job when you have an interest in science is hard. Sometimes it's heartbreaking. Honestly. I feel like I missed the boat, I feel like I missed the boat sometimes. But, pity me, I'd rather have a party. So that's what I was doing too. So a lot of parties. Parties than pity. Oh, what a pity. Play now, pay later, that whole bit. So anyway, look, I had my little ex-con time. I did all that stupid stuff. And I'm still paying the price from years 2013. I have to deal with stuff from 2013. So, because of things I did in 2019 and 20. So anyway, that was some candor for you. I apologize. I know this is embarrassing. They were relatively petty in nature. Wrong place, wrong time. In truth, complete blackout. Alcohol induced. So it's not something that I would encourage myself to do, and I don't like that I have that video out of me up there like that, so I took it down because it's really just unnecessary. It wasn't anything really all that exciting or embarrassing. It was embarrassing, but it didn't encourage any kind of it didn't move us forward. it just made the people scratch their heads and go, maybe not this dude. And I don't want to encourage that. So my apologies. I am a work in progress, and I won't say as all we are, as because each and every one of us. That's up to you. I know that I'm a work in progress. And I will dare say this. I do claim spiritual perfection, but I believe that perfection is also progressing. I believe that every one of us is perfect. I believe that given the Latin meaning of the word perfect means complete, that you have nothing missing. And even if you do in fact have a limb, a hand or a foot or any of these things actually amputated or were not born with them, firstly, you're a complete person. You're a perfect person. That is who you are. You are them. You're that person. You have these unique characteristics in the physical sense in your body, and it has shaped who you are up here too. Your brain, it has a certain shape, each and every one of you, and it defines how you think as a matter of having a certain shape or a certain salinity or a certain so on and so forth. Dimensions variable, x with respect to infinitely, given there's only infinite dimensions of possibilities between the difference of one person to the other. And each one of us is an avatar, a representative, an emissary, an ambassador, if you will, of that very same I am, that is that I am, the holiest of holies. And you don't even have to be any of the Judeo-Muslim Christian, Judeo-Christian Muslim, whichever order you prefer. I just know that Jewish was there first, so I honor the name first. I usually try to do things chronologically. However, noting that, I know that there's a lot of stuff I definitely do hold back from saying. There's a lot of gifts down the road. We are so blessed to live in such a time when people would take a chance on just what if I asked the future. I said, show me what you're working with. Here's the funny thing, they already did. I just forgotten. So it was like 3 years later, and I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that dream. Check your dreams out. Oh, I wanted to talk about a computer that uses the Dreamscape, that IMAX theater that you see with your eyes closed. You close your eyes and you have a computer screen there. It looks like it's kind of a brown pixelated, but whatever, you know what I'm saying. There is an actual computer. You in the future will be able to watch a movie with your eyes closed. And I just think that's just awesome. You'll actually be able to go in there. Maybe you have option eyes open, eyes closed. Maybe you get tired and actually, that would be so weird, wouldn't it? But man, the objective isn't so that we can all be running around like half asleep. It's so that our lives can be, it's to bring out the promises yet to come in each and every one of us. I hope that I've demonstrated that there has been a change positive as per your witness upon me, future people. And I can't say thank you enough, so I'm going to show you thank you. And that happens starting today. I really think that's fair. Fairly accurate. Given more will be revealed. Just know that it's been a day of change. It's been a day of good change. And it's not always easy, but it's not always hard either. It's not always difficult. I guess I'll close out now and just say thank you all for watching and your spiritual support. It's been wonderful to know that people still cared after, sometimes people just, life happens, so I'm grateful that life does. And I'm serious as a heartbeat. You might notice you end up correcting your speech instead of saying serious as a heart attack or things like that. You might start saying serious as a heartbeat, because death, I don't want to dishonor the dead by saying anything foolish. And really, it would only come from a place of ignorance, aka innocence. I just want to say that a heartbeat is a very serious thing. And I've been taking mine for granted for long enough. And I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done. I can't even say it enough, so I'll keep trying. All right. Love always, David. And I know I'm live, so we'll talk off cam.